Find the parking space, select the zone in the app and pay on your phone. I guess we all know this process pretty well already. But Škoda has made it even simpler. In Switzerland, Škoda tested the Pay to Park app in a pilot scheme, allowing you to select and pay for parking using the car's infotainment system without pulling out your mobile. Plus, thanks to this service, you don't have to pay for more time than you were actually parked in that zone. After Switzerland, Škoda has now launched this app in Germany, Finland and Belgium, and it's coming to other countries including the Czech Republic soon. How does it work exactly? What data went into developing it? And how did the pilot scheme in Switzerland go? For this interview, we traveled to the city of Zug, near Zurich, with Tomáš Dražil from Škoda Auto Digilab, and the other guest is Thushan Bala, marketing coordinator at Škoda AMAG in Switzerland. We're going to be talking about Pay to Park. What is it? How should we describe that?
Yeah, basically, I'm happy that today we can introduce this brand new digital product, Pay to Park. As you can probably guess from the name, Pay to Park is about
parking.
Exactly, a possibility to pay for the parking tickets directly from the infotainment system of your car or via My Škoda app. So always two touch points. First one, mobile app, My Škoda app. The second one is in-car web app installed within the infotainment of your car. Yeah, and we just recently launched this service here in Switzerland. Until end of 2022, we would like to scale this service and offer this service to the customers also in another 14 countries and more than 10,000 cities across the Europe. And what is also important to mention is the fact that we have decided to put Pay to Park directly into Škoda Connect portfolio because we just wanted to bring brand new service for our customers with daily, maybe not daily, but at least weekly added value, and therefore also increase the attractiveness of the whole Škoda Connect portfolio, and that was basically our main motivation.
So generally speaking, it's a way how to easily pay for my parking, as the name goes, but I don't have to use my phone. I can sit in the car and very easily deal with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. All you need to do is basically to open the in-car web app called Pay to Park. You will just open it, set up for how long you would like to pay for the parking, and then you will confirm that's it. The same you can do also in My Škoda app. So it's up to you what is better for you or more convenient for you.
And I need to have an account in My Škoda app or to connect the car with my app in the phone.
Exactly. The registration will be possible only via My Škoda app because we wanted to avoid not the best user experience with typing in all these information to the screen of the infotainment system. I mean, like email, password, and all these stuff. So therefore, we have decided to integrate this option only into My Škoda app because we are convinced that this is more convenient for our customers.
So I'm just thinking out loud. Was it something like your users wanted? Because how did you come up with the idea?
Yeah, so we were thinking about some service with added value for the customers during while they are using basically the car. And parking was some of the main obstacles which you have to solve once you are driving the car. So first one is start the driving, but then you have to also end the parking, end the driving, and this is connected with the parking. So that was some kind of logical step. We made also some kind of user studies. We asked our customers whether this is something what they would like to have within their cars and within the Škoda Connect portfolio. They just confirm it, so we just develop it and integrate it into our systems.
What do you need for this service to work? How difficult it was basically to
you mean
build
from
it?
From this one. Yeah, so for us, what was the main point to find some reliable partner who is able to provide all of these data, because we don't want to offer it just in one city, but in the cities across the Europe. So this took some time to evaluate different options which we have and which are available on the market. In the end, we choose for the company called Parkopedia, one of the biggest parking providers in Europe, and they are responsible for the delivering right content into the right place in the right time. That's basically it. So that was the first point, and this is, I think, the most crucial point. The second thing is development, which is done in Škoda, and this is mainly about the development of the in-car web app, and also about the integration of some kind of pay-to-park plugin directly into my Škoda app. And then that's just about the connection to this Parkopedia backend, and that's basically it. So that wasn't so hard for us, I would say. The main part is about finding a really reliable parking provider.
So if I understand it correctly, the backend, the data are practically the same as at some, I don't know, in some parking apps the users might already use.
Yeah, exactly. Most probably there will be the same. Our advantage basically in comparison with these normal apps is that we have integrated this solution directly into the car. This is not so common. There is not so much there is not so many OEMs which are offering this service, and if there are some, they are more, let's say, from the luxury segment. So this is pretty much cool for us that we can also offer such a user experience with the digital products, for example, for the owners of Fabia.
Yeah. So, and what do you need from the, let's say, hardware point of view? Because I guess you need some kind of connection in a car.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the first precondition is that you have activated Škoda Connect in your car. That's the first and main precondition. Then you will just download the latest version of My Škoda app from App Store or Google Play, and you will also download this in-car web app from the in-car shop, which is pre-installed basically within the infotainment of the system. As I already mentioned, the registration is done only via My Škoda app. This is because of this user experience. We are convinced that this is more convenient for our customers. And during this registration process, you will also add your credit card details into the system. And that's basically it. You can use the service. From the technical perspective, it works like that you have two touch points, My Škoda app and in-car web app. They are communicating with the same backend, and therefore you will also ensure that you will have basically the same information in both touch points.
What I like about it is that exactly that thing, that you can control it through the infotainment, yet you still have all the information on your phone that it's connected through your account.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And this is also benefit for our customers. So, for example, you can start the parking session in your car because you drove there, and then, for example, you can prolong it via My Škoda app, so you don't have to come back to your car and again set up there something. You will just easily do it via My Škoda app. And you will also receive the notification 15 minutes before this parking session will expire. There will be like the notification in your phone with the information, hey, your parking session will expire soon, do you want to prolong it? And I will just prolong it via My Škoda app, that's it.
Yeah. As I said, it seems to be too easy.
Yeah, we wanted to. Yeah, that's good to know. Good to hear, because that was our main goal, also to make as easy solution as possible, and to help basically our customers with solving these obstacles with the parking, because sometimes parking can be already stressful. So why to put some, let's say, another extra effort for processing of the parking payment and all these stuffs. So therefore we just wanted to make as simple as possible with really few steps required from the customer.
And it doesn't make sense, to invent the wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
To bring something brand new, but you need to offer something the customers already know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
As we mentioned, the service was already tested in Switzerland. So how did it go?
Yeah, so we were quite surprised how good the beta version of Pay to Park was. So I think the development team did a great job there. So the app was tested mainly by the employees of AMAG, which is the Swiss importer of Škoda. And the preparation for us in Switzerland was well and was good, and we did not have any major problem with the installation. The app itself worked well, so whether it was the setup, the search for a parking lot, the payment, or finishing a parking session. In the beginning it was loading a bit, but that's normal for a beta version. Sure. We could find minor improvements, but we and the Digilab team were in regular exchange, so that these points could be discussed and reported. During that time, the AMAG IV model did not have the ME3 update yet, which did not have the parking position function, which is needed for Park to Pay. So unfortunately, our AMAG IV drivers could not test it. But overall, I think we are satisfied with the result of the testing.
So I guess like there were like few crucial parts to test. Like I guess the let's say the GPS location or the localization. That's something you need to check, that the car knows and can say properly like on what parking lot it is. Some kind of robustness of the system, if it's crashing or not, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So we tested the user experience of the app. So was it reliable? Was it stable? If there were any bugs, was it proceeding properly? And yeah, that's I think the main points we tested. We also tested if the ways we use the app and to search for a parking lot, to finish it, to prolong it, is easy and simple for the customer, which we now can say it is. And as I said, Pay to Park is very fortunate thanks to its feature to prolong parking sessions remotely. So that's one feature we especially checked. But we can say that the tested parameters were positive to us.
Yeah, I guess one of the advantages might be also that you don't need to think about like which app you want to use, because as a Škoda driver, you already had the access to my Škoda app. You can access it through the infotainment also. So that's probably also one thing, that this simplifying factor, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's very hard. So it's not nice for a customer to have an app for everything. So I'm glad that the team could integrate this new function directly to the My Škoda app. We can notice that more and more customers activate Škoda Connect, which is very good for us. And yeah, we hope that this new feature will increase the convenience of the customer, and especially with the AMAG IV and the upcoming electric models, Connect services are getting more and more important.
You've mentioned several times that one of the features you like a lot is the prolongation. So why is that? Like that the Swiss drivers get a lot of parking tickets because they
yeah
they stay there for too long?
Yeah. I think the parking fees in Switzerland are in some areas very high. So you don't want to pay like the maximum. You just want to pay what you actually needed. So I think when you have to decide how long will it take, you are not choosing a higher duration because the fees are higher. So I think they always think so like I just need 30 minutes or something like that. And but when you're away and you think 30 minutes, it is not enough, you can take your phone and just prolong it for like 15 minutes more or 30 minutes more. So yeah, it's very fortunate for the customer.
Yeah. There's also one feature I'm really curious about. It's the possibility to end the parking and actually pay not the full amount I chose at the beginning, but the actual money for the time I spent there. This is really useful. This is something I really like in other apps from my own user experience.
Yeah, exactly. I agreed to that. Yeah, I would say that this is really like the benefit for the customers because you will also save the money. Yeah. So there is no need to prepay 2 hours, and in case that you will finish the meeting, for example, earlier, then you can just basically stop the parking session immediately, and you will only pay for the time when you are parking. You don't need to, let's say, pay some extra money just because you were not able to, let's say, somehow set up right time or something like that.
But it might be also like very useful for the let's say, parking ecosystem, because when I end the parking and I leave the slot, you or the system can have the information that this place which has been occupied is now empty. So it might be useful maybe in the future.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, definitely. So this is something from the topic of the predictive parking. This is for sure something what we are already evaluating, because we are convinced that this is the future of the parking and future of the smart cities. It always depends on the technology which is equipped on these individual parking spots, but also on the technologies equipped within these cities. In case that you are able to hand over this information to the driver in some real time or online, then you will be able to predict basically free parking spots, and it will also help drivers with the, let's say, recognition or definition of the area where he will basically most probably find some free parking spot. And in the end, this will also reduce the number of the cars within the cities or city centers, because these drivers will not anymore, let's say, drive through all the streets trying to find some free parking spots. If you will give them basically the information in which area is the most, let's say, probability or highest probability that they will find a free parking spot, then they will go there directly, and you don't have to, let's say, run through the cities with the goal to catch some free parking spot.
So was this feature to add the parking something that came up through the testing, or was it in the original idea about the app?
No, I think that is something the development team already knew, that this feature is regarded or recommended. So I think, the development team already knew that.
Yeah, that's right. So we got this information from this partner, Parkopedia. We know that in some countries this is possible basically to end this parking session immediately. So therefore we have decided that we will also integrate it into our systems. It was a little bit more, let's say, work on our side, but I think that it was it. So that in the end that there is some benefit behind for the customers.
Yeah. So where this service will be available? Because we mentioned Switzerland. It's going to be at some other countries too.
Yeah, until end of 2022, we would like to scale this service into another 14 European countries. So in total, this service will be available in more than 10,000 cities across the Europe, which is pretty cool already, but we would like to also then scale in 2023 in another countries. The goal is to cover most of the countries where is Škoda Connect offered, so that's the main goal.
Yeah, so you travel around Europe and you don't have to think about that. That's
exactly.
Again, that's what we talk about, like that when you go to, I don't know, me as a foreign driver, I will go to Switzerland or whatever, I don't need to look for what app are they using in Zurich. And also it's sometimes it used to be that different cities had different apps and so on.
Exactly. So you will have all of this information in consolidated form in My Škoda app or in directly in the car. And you don't need to download the specific app for these individual cities, but then you will immediately know what are the restrictions, because you will find it basically directly in the infotainment system or in My Škoda app.
Just a quick thought: can it work not only with private cars, because there it's I think easy because it's my car, my credit card, and so on. Can it be used with, for example, the company car or some shared mobility?
Yeah, so Pay to Park is connected directly with these Škoda Connect licenses. So it depends which Škoda Connect account will be registered in this car. So in the end, it will be on some individual agreement with the owner or the fleet manager of these cars, whether you can use basically your own account for the registration into the car. Because if you want to use all these Škoda Connect services, not only Pay to Park, then you have to basically find some kind of agreement with this owner of the car, and it's about the Škoda Connect account registered in the vehicle.
Okay, so maybe back to the Switzerland a little bit. we might have listeners from all around Europe. I've never parked in Switzerland, and when I parked, I was parking in a garage. So how's the parking here in Switzerland, in Zurich and big cities?
Switzerland's landscape is very diverse. So you have urban areas and you have more countryside areas. So the parking possibilities in urban areas are much better than in countryside areas, and also the visibility of parking possibilities in the app itself is better in urban areas than in more countryside areas. So that's going to be a challenge to cover every parking.
Yeah.
So that's one problem, I think, and it's also going to be challenging because there are already other providers who have similar services like pay to park, and some of them are already known and used by the Swiss. So it's going to be a challenge to get them to switch. But as I said, a very key point is that the app is in the infotainment. So I hope this will convince them to switch.
But I guess that's the situation which might happen in different countries too. Like, but there's might be different providers. So there's probably some space, to negotiate somehow, to work with the data, combine the data sets. Different cities might have different providers.
Yeah, for sure. Therefore we have this cooperation with Parkopedia. They are some kind of aggregator, and they are cooperating also with another parking providers, like local ones within the cities. Therefore we have already, let's say, strong coverage across the Europe. For sure there is always potential for the for the increasing of these number of parking places. But as mentioned by Thushan, the main advantage for the customer is that he will have everything in Škoda Connect ecosystem, and also that he is able to pay for the parking directly from the infotainment system. That's for sure.
Yeah, we already touched a little bit the future of parking, let's say, or how these kind of apps might add some possibilities in the future. So let's say dream a bit. So in the future, isn't it possible that there will be more, let's say, features, more possibilities within this app, to combine the data with, I don't know, some multimodality apps or something like that? Because that's probably something also the drivers or users might use, not only to find the parking space, but I don't know, to find the earliest connection to another city or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So right now we just launched basically this first version of Pay to Park, but we are already working on some kind of feature or service extension. One feature will come soon, and this is mainly about the automatization of the whole process of the starting and ending of parking session. We would like to leverage the know-how which we have as a developers and producers of the cars. So therefore we would like to connect more this service with the parking sensors and the data which are available within the car, and automate the whole process with the starting and ending of parking session. That's one point. This is like in near future.
So sorry to interrupt. So that will be like that I don't need to start the app myself, but it will somehow know from the sensors and so on that I stopped, I turned off the engine, and it can start like pay the parking.
You will not need to anymore set up for how long you would like to pay. This will be automatically once the car stops. Then there will be offer if you want to start the parking session automatically. You will just confirm, that's it, you are leaving the car. Once you will come back and the wheels from the car will start moving, then there will be again notification informing you, hey, we just noticed that on the background there is ongoing parking session. Do you want to stop it? And you will just confirm, that's it. So this is like the near future of Pay to Park. Let's say something which we will need to also integrate into this service is this predictive of parking, because I think that this is the future of the smart cities and parking in general. You need to find some kind of technical concept how to deliver the customers reliable information about the availability of the parking spaces within the cities. This also depends on the technologies which are installed installed within the cities. It might be like cameras which are able to analyze current situation on the streets. They are also able to detect free parking spots. It can be like sensors integrated directly into parking spots, or just sensors which are calculating number of the cars which are coming to the city centers. And then it's about the handover this information to the driver, ideally before he will enter the city.
Yeah, maybe I'm like thinking too much in the forward, but maybe the next step is to be able to, let's say, make a reservation of the parking slot.
Yeah, sure. So right now we have technology on our side from OEM point of view. It always depends also on the technologies within the city. So we can make this reservation or booking, but then you have to also make it visible to another drivers that you book this parking spot, right? So this is something what needs to be also. This is about the hardware installed within the cities. For example, some of the airports already offer this service, yeah. So you can basically book the parking space in front of the airport, and we would like to also bring this feature to pay to park in the future. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. That's basically the biggest pain of driving is parking, so I'm really looking forward to it. Agreed to that. Agreed. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for the interview. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us.
Škoda. Simply clever.